It is Local Natives with Shy from the new album Violet Street, which has just come out on Friday, and I'm very pleased to say that Local Natives are here. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to Exposure on Radio X. As you know, I'm John Kennedy. I'm going to try and get everybody's name. So we've got Kelsey and Ryan, and we've got Matt, who's over there, and we got Nick, and we got Taylor. Phew. And I have to look down and see what I'd written.
You did it all. The people didn't see you look down.
No, they didn't, but you did.
Yeah.
You did. Anyway, welcome back. It's great to see you.
Yeah, you so much.
And so you flew in today?
We flew in just 2 days ago.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So, but you're still recovering from the distance.
We're still
the kind of 7,000-mile trip or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, wow.
I slept in 0 hours the first night and then 11 hours last night, so...
Wow. So
it's all evened itself out.
Yeah, good. And you've chased around town. So you've already played a show this evening at Rough Trade East. And was that a full electric show?
Yeah,
It was,
full band.
Right. Wow. How's
It's a
that?
tiny stage, and we somehow got everyone on there.
Almost.
Like a little, almost everyone on there. Yeah, it was a little cramped.
So we've decided to only bring 2 acoustics for this.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You've still got an acoustic bass and a snare drum. So, it's good going. I mean, you've done this a few times, this kind of strip it all back to the essence, to the kind of campfire sound of Local Natives, possibly.
Right.
Exactly.
No, if you ever perform in front of campfires, I don't, is that something?
No, but I imagine
than
it
you
would
think.
feel like this. You were going to go with it. Actually, constantly.
We're next door.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd play Shy because that's kind of one aspect of this new record which I thought you wouldn't be able to replicate here in the studio tonight. But also it has everything going on in it. You know, there's a lot of new sounds, I think, on this new record. Lots of there's kind of lots of found sounds and samples and stuff like that. And I like that bit in the middle where it seems to break down into the room where you're having a party or something.
Yeah.
And people are clapping and shouting and screaming.
Yeah, that was actually really inspired by Tusk, the Fleetwood Mac
Right, yes.
song off of the album, but...
And Jesus.
Right. Yeah, it was a mashing of those two influences.
So Kanye meets Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
And you have Local Natives.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's right.
Why not? I like that idea.
I
That's
would
the
love
tag.
for the
That's
world
the
to
tagline.
verify that that's what we are. For the world to agree. Fleetwood Mac meets Kanye West.
I think, well, why not? I mean, do you do any rapping in any...
We don't.
We did cover Ultralight Beam
We did.
on the last cycle.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I could
With
start
no
screaming
rapping.
more, I guess. Kanye does a fair amount of screaming
Right.
nowadays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. But it's good to know that, you're feeding all these different things into the music. 4 albums in.
Well, I mean, a lot of that, Sean Everett, the producer, he had a lot of crazy ideas and got us out of our comfort zone a lot of times. And a lot of screaming, like Kelsey said, but then tuned to sound like an angel, just all these weird things. So, yeah, it kind of all came into Shy, I feel like.
Yeah. No, it sounds great. I mean, one of the other things about the new record is the way it flows together. There are lovely segues from one song into another, lovely transitions, which seem really well worked out and thought through.
Thank you.
It's very much the kind of album that you can leave playing and it just, washes over you and you're taken away into the world of Local Natives.
Nice.
Very happy to hear that.
Yeah, we're definitely still romantics when it comes to full albums and sequencing and stuff. And, I know, like, the world's all about playlisting, but we're still, like, I feel like that has its place and the album still has a place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're stoked about that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's working a treat. But you are going to give us a different version of what you're all about tonight. So a kind of acoustic, stripped-back version.
We call it the campfire version.
Yeah, well, yeah. Excellent. See, when I think of that, I think of, because you're from California, I think around on the beach maybe, or in the desert, or,
We actually do end up writing a lot of the songs at the core in that way, actually. So it's like we haven't played the song like this probably since we wrote it, but...
In the core on an acoustic guitar, not by fire, right?
There's no fire, but
Yeah.
often we might actually be by a beach or in a desert, yeah.
Right. But in daylight or nighttime, or no?
Kind of both.
All hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't,
Round
we
the
don't
clock.
discriminate at all, between the times. Yeah, we're good.
That's excellent. It's a 24/7 thing.
Yeah.
You've got to live and breathe Local Natives. So we're going to hear the first song, When Am I Gonna Lose You, which is the new single from the album. So this is Local Natives live on Exposure, Radio X.
is so unkind. Trace the curving of the coastline, the Santa Lucia cliffside. We'll stay here for the night. I remember you said everything has its place. Now we're lying in our bed, wondering how to explain. When am I gonna lose you? When am I gonna lose you? When am I gonna lose you? When am I gonna lose? Take another one if you need it. Or do you already feel it? I felt it from the start. Engrave the silhouette of you dancing, the shadow play that we're casting on the cabin walls. You were floating to me in a slow motion fade. Could I finally see between belief and faith? When am I gonna lose you? When am I gonna lose you? When am I gonna lose you? When am I gonna lose? I remember you closing the shutters and laying down by my side, and the light that was still slipping through was painting your body in stripes. I remember the trees tumbling down like an archangel choir, and the ocean was all we could see, and I knew that I wanted you. I remember you closing the shutters and laying down by my side, and the light that was still slipping through, it was painting your body in stripes. I remember the trees tumbling down like an archangel choir, and the ocean was all we could see, and I knew that I wanted you. When am I gonna lose you? When am I gonna lose you? When am I gonna lose you? When am I gonna lose?
Wow. Just so good. Local Natives performing live on Exposure Radio X with When Am I Gonna Lose You? That song is on the new album. The album's out now. Violet Street is what it's called. And why is it called Violet Street? Is it a specific place?
It is a place. It is a street in downtown Los Angeles, which is right along where we were making the record with, Ryan mentioned him, but the producer we worked with, we just had the most awesome time at his warehouse in downtown. His name's Sean Everett, and yeah, that's the street right where his studio is.
So people will be making pilgrimages now to Violet Street.
That's what we hope.
That's
You
the ideal.
have Abbey
That's what we're
Road.
hoping for.
You
We'll
do.
have Violet Street.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I didn't compare us to the Beatles on the radio.
We'll talk about this at another time, Kelsey.
Is there a crossing?
Oh, God.
Fantastic. Excellent. Well, I think people may well be making pilgrimages in due course. Once the album gets out, and it's out there now, the momentum builds. Why not? No. I'm going to give you a little breather, but that sounded exquisite. It sounded so good.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with more from Local Natives on the way. With me tonight are local natives. I was just boring them with details about producers because they were telling me how lovely Sean Everett is, the producer of the new Local Natives album out now, Violet Street. And I was saying, oh yeah, but sometimes people are kind of strange personalities. But I think half the battle is actually getting on with people and you know.
Well, now I'm interested to work with a producer who will break chairs.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a good idea. I mean, how would you feel if a producer kind of started smashing things up around you?
I mean, if I wanted to buy new versions of those things, then that would be cool. Like if I wanted new chairs.
Sean's the best mediator. As you can hear, there's a lot of voices in the room, and Sean's so good at keeping us at bay. And also, he's got a lot of like strange opinions about a lot of things. So he just kind of goes off on these long sort of, would you call them diatribes?
He'll do an occasional diatribe.
Yeah, and it's very entertaining. So
Right.
it's great studio stuff.
Diatribes about politics or history or
Boy, I don't want to get him to.
Normally, like,
Yeah.
not controversial, like talking about trees or something. Like it'd be a very strong opinion on trees.
right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a strong opinion about the end of Lost. That was a big one. One that really pissed him off.
Among other things, all right?
Yeah.
I mean, it pissed a lot of people off. He's not,
Yeah. How long did you take to make the record?
We were there about 8 months.
Wow, long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And were you all at home then? Wait,
Yeah, because we all live,
Yeah.
just kind of in the east side neighborhoods of Los Angeles.
So an easy commute to get to the studio.
Yeah, super close. It was awesome.
Wow, 8 months is a long time. Oh, and for him too.
Is it?
Well,
it's 8 months spread out over the year.
That's true.
Off
That's
and
true.
on.
Good point.
I'm just thinking because you were telling me how many accolades he's been getting of late and how many successful production and engineering jobs he's done. Did he juggle those around what he was doing with you, or would you have a break in between?
Yeah. He would be working on other records, and like Nick said, we were off and on over the 8 months. It wasn't nonstop.
And he also doesn't sleep or really eat or anything like that. Anything like healthy, he doesn't do. So I don't know how he's functioning,
It's
but
true.
he's crushing it.
He's about 15-hour days every day.
Yeah.
It's quite intense when you're on.
Yeah, it sounds it. And in terms of, did you have an agenda at all with this new record? Did you think we need to shake it up? We want to do something different.
We actually, most of the agenda was we really want to play together as a band live in the room and just feel each other, what it is to be in the band. Of course, it's something we do a lot. We always do that when we write, but we haven't actually done that a lot in the studio. Usually we'll write the songs in a room together. The studio is a very kind of meticulous affair. And with this, we really wanted to capture something else, something of us performing off of each other live. That was really important to us. And Sean, we just keep talking about Sean because we love him so much, but was the best producer for that. He was really great at being able to like harness that and have us all set up in the room and just in interesting ways and feel good immediately. But then we could take that back into the studio and kind of say, okay, now it's 2019 again and there are no rules, and then we could have like endless fun with the production of it as well. So sort of very modern and very classic at the same time in how it was produced.
Yeah, well, I mean, it sounds fantastic. I mean, as I was saying, I love the way it all flows together really, really well. And you're going to do a song now that on the record will sound completely different, I think, to how you're going to perform it now.
I think so.
A song called Megaton Mile, which has all sorts of sounds in there. And it's quite noisy in places.
Oh, yeah.
But you're going to reimagine it as an acoustic version, which is exciting.
This song I will mention because we're talking about it, but when we kind of had this tune and we had mentioned Talking Heads as a reference point for what we wanted it to maybe sound like, and so we did the process that Eno did for Once in a Lifetime, which it's like a famous studio story, but it's basically like these loops of tape where you have to record these loops in a round, and there's like tape flowing through the room, and then you put it all on a mixing desk, and then you perform the mixing desk together. It's a little bit hard to explain, and it took like a day to set up, but it was super like wild and crazy to do, and that was like one of the really more fun ways that we produced it. And a lot of that noise like kind of came out of that process of doing it in this really like incredible way that I think Eno had devised.
Yeah, it sounds great, and it sounds great on record. But now, you're going to reimagine it. And so, with this song, did it start in this fashion? I mean, you say that all the songs kind of start in this way,
This one start, right?
or did you start with the tape loops and
This one was on an acoustic, remember?
Yeah, I mean, this was a demo, and we were gonna like play it as a band in the room, and then Sean, of course, does the like long-winded version, the crazy way to make a song. So I don't even remember how it came about, but it wasn't the normal way.
Well, I think we should hear it now. So this is Local Natives performing live on Exposure Radio X with Megaton Mile.
As much as it was terrifying. Holding me close at the ending in a flashing light. It's darkest after the dawn. Oh, Megaton Mile. Oh, January came and went early in a flashing light. It's darkest after the dawn. Oh, Megaton Mile.
Excellent. Local Natives performing live on Exposure Radio X with Megaton Mile from the new album. That is one of the new songs on the new record, Violet Street. And is Megaton Mile a real place?
In our hearts and minds, it's a real place.
What kind of a place is it?
You don't really want it to be in ours. Tell them what the song's about.
It's just a song about the apocalypse. It's a play on the Miracle Mile in LA. But yeah, I just love like kind of fun songs about dark things, like Everybody Knows, that Leonard Cohen song, or Nothing But Flowers, where it's just like this like kind of dancey, feel-good groove, but the lyrics are about like the most depressing stuff. So
Yeah.
kind of like that.
And I hate to mention it, but you've seen apocalyptic scenes recently in California. You know,
Yeah.
with all the fires and the frequency of these fires. You know, you can probably look out your window and suddenly it must feel apocalyptic.
Yeah, well,
it's crazy.
There's some lyrics like in there, like there's like the terracotta rush hour. It's just like ashes, like on all the traffic, and I feel like that's the scenes that like around the world, people were seeing those images of just the fires like everywhere. So it definitely came from that.
Yeah. Yeah, so shocking. Yeah, it must be quite terrifying being there.
It is. It's surreal, really. I mean, it's like unbelievable that it's happening, and then at the same time, and then it passes, and then people feel like, oh, really? We're just gonna keep going
Doing
on
the same thing.
Yeah, not really addressing it. So it's weird because it is like shocking and terrifying, and that's kind of primal and like right present with you. But then at the same time, there's like a surrealism to it where it feels weirdly not paid attention to or ignored.
Yeah. And do you think that does inform the new record? And is it inevitable that kind of seeps in somehow?
Yeah, I think you probably nailed it. I wonder if that line was actually from, that might have been like right from that time. So yeah, absolutely.
Wow, amazing. Right, I'm going to give you another breather. We've got more from Local Natives on the way. It is Beck with Saw Lightning on Exposure Radio X. I'm John Kennedy. With me tonight are Local Natives, and the conversation in the studio is about how Beck is working with Pharrell Williams on that track, and also with Cage the Elephant, getting around. Have you collaborated much with other people apart from, say, Sean? No, you've done lots of other stuff? Because at one point there was this nice Californian community when you first emerged. There seemed to be quite a few different bands who all seem to be
We
hanging out.
haven't done tons of writing.
No, not really. On after we did Sunlit Youth, our last record, we did a song called "The Only Heirs," and we worked with two of the guys in Chance the Rapper's camp. Nick, help me remember everyone's name.
Nico Siegel.
Yeah, and Nate Fox.
Right.
And so they helped us on that track, and then we've kind of toyed around with like trying to do some new songs with Sharon Van Etten. But yeah, nothing right now.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's enough of you in the band anyway, isn't there?
Yeah.
And you're busy, because you're keeping up this work rate. It was only a couple of years ago when the last album came out, and you're back here. So you're playing tomorrow night in London.
Yeah.
But is that sold out, I think? Is that?
I believe so.
Yeah.
That is sold out.
Oslo?
But we're coming back in October.
Yeah. So those dates have just been announced. Starts on the 10th, runs through to the 17th of October.
That's right.
Playing Brighton, Manchester, Dublin, Edinburgh, Leeds, London, Bristol, and then on to, is Europe, the rest of Europe before that or after that?
Before.
And you've got a lot of tour. You're playing non-stop in North America for the next couple of months. Then you're going to Australia, I think.
Yes.
So you're pretty busy.
Yeah.
It seems nonstop, but it's actually a little more relaxed than it has been. So,
Right.
Yeah.
I was just looking at it. It looked just like month
Right.
after month.
Yeah.
It's all relative.
Yeah. August seemed like the month you get some downtime.
Yeah. We got a whole month of August.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good. No, you need to, all the traveling.
Well, this tour actually does end in Greece for a festival, and I think we're all going to rent a house and hang out there for a little bit.
Excellent. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds nice. I
think it'll be needed.
Yeah.
Sounds fancy.
What are you going to play now? So you're going to do another song?
Yeah, we're going to play a song called Cafe Amarillo.
Right. And what's this one about?
Well, kind of touching back on what we were talking about earlier, like having the fires happening, and a lot of stuff was going on last year, and I think that was a lot in our heads, just politically and culturally. I think Parkland, the shooting had just happened, and there just was so much going on, and I think a big part for this song, and then kind of seemed to be like a through line through the whole record, is trying to find a place of shelter, a place where you feel at peace, or a respite from the chaos. And I think we were meditating on that a lot. Like now, getting into our 30s, we're trying to figure out how to make sense of everything, because now we're more aware of everything. I feel like you blow through your 20s and you're just selfish kid just like having fun and not thinking about anything, and you hit 30 and it feels like, oh wow, you were like looking around. I know I don't have to tell you about your 30s, you're older than me.
No need to rub it in, Kelsey.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. I was trying to say,
No.
you know, when you
No, I know that. Yeah,
to the older, yeah.
the perspective of the older person who suddenly thinks,
look how wise I am at 32.
Yeah. Well,
that's
this is
not
it.
what I want that to come up.
It doesn't get any better, Kelsey.
But
The shockwave of reality just hits you as each decade passes. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, we're learning about that.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not being very chirpy.
It's all good.
Charade we call life.
I brought it up. You asked, and I answered. And Cafe Amarillo we kind of conjured up this fictitious place that felt as if when you're there, you are kind of safe in a place where you're away from all that. And we kind of found that in our relationships with each other and our family and friends and stuff. That's kind of the vibe of that song.
Yeah. So you're going to take us there now.
I'm going to take you there. We're going to take you there now.
We can all feel safe, and have a break from the frightening things around us, which is a good thing. So thank you very much for
take a break. Come by the
creating this.
campfire.
Yes, exactly. This is Local Natives then, live on Exposure Radio X.
Looking for my exits. Still so bad at making plans, a plan to keep. How long has it been? And it's raining on both ends of the phone. You're in the lobby and I'm on my way home. There's no shelter without you there. Some things are so simple, they're impossible to explain. You can't unpull a trigger or stay dry when you're caught in the rain. We're caught in the rain. I long for when the sun was in our eyes.
Absolutely magnificent. It is Local Natives performing live on Exposure Radio X with Cafe Amarillo. I'm very tempted to say Amarillo, as in, do you know the way to Amarillo, which is a big hit over here?
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah. There was a charity rework of it that was number one and all that kind of stuff. But Cafe Amarillo, and that's the song that mentions Calais to Dover. So I'm picturing you on a ferry.
Indeed.
Let's just say we got some real bad news in 2016, and we happened to be on that ferry when we found out the big news of the year.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We've all got to be somewhere when we hear that kind of news. Yeah, nightmare. But also, I don't want to live before I... No, what's it? I don't want to die before I learn to live.
Yeah.
No, it's a great line. No.
Thanks.
Excellent. I mean, the new record sounds fantastic, I think. Violet Street is what it's called. It's out now, and you'll be back in October to play a whole load of shows around the country. And thanks so much for making the time to come in and say hi and perform. It seems so good.
Thank you so much for having us.
It's a real pleasure. I'm going to play one more song from the album so people can get another little taste of it, that it's not all this acoustic thing. What do you think I should go for? What do you think would be a good illustration of another aspect of the album? This is it.
You're going to cause a fight, John.
What it is, you guys.
Want to see democracy at work?
How about, you want to do Someday Now?
There's an amazing
We
thing.
don't know.
Taylor knows how to sell it. Taylor really knows how to sell the record.
There's an amazing thing about making records that we've found is that you never know. There's always like some surprise song that kind of resonates more with people that you didn't expect. And just over the weekend, we've just seen all these people talk about Someday Now, and that's been like fun to see just whatever song kind of bubbles to.
And when
to
you
the
have
top
three
of people's-
different songwriters in the band, it's fun to argue and battle Game of Thrones style
Right.
for your songs.
Well, on steeds with dragons flying above you. Is that what you have to do?
Ideally.
Yeah.
Let's do Someday Now.
Okay, Someday Now. And Someday Now, we should give it some context, because you played Megaton Mile,
Right.
and that segues into Someday Now really
Right,
beautifully,
yeah.
and it has this kind of the noises at the end of Megaton kind of crossfade into Someday Now, and that kind of starts slowing down, as if when a DJ turns off the record deck to create that kind of slowing down.
So that's a perfect example of Sean. Like, you could probably have done that in Pro Tools in, I don't know, 2 seconds, but that was really just the tape machine, like, and Sean like slowing it down. God, I wish we could show you video, but this is radio. But yeah, it was just so amazing.
So he's actually physically turning,
physically
slowing
doing it,
right.
and then you'll hear these this like high like clinking sound, and that's, we threw glass bottles into a trash can and then tuned all that sound to like the chords of the song, and there's just so much to this song that's kind of
But actually, kind of
weird.
unbelievably, the drum beat from Megaton is the same drum beat from Someday Now at a different tempo. So the song flows into the other song, but it's actually the same drums as
Right.
well.
So Matt got a break. It's like, well, we'll just use that bit again.
Right.
Got a rest.
A little bit of a rest, added some things.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you so much, Ryan and Taylor and Kelsey and Nick and Matt. Welcome back.
Thank
Good
you.
to have you back here. And I'm going to play Someday Now. So hopefully we've set it up so people can imagine that. And of course they're going to go and get the record now so they can listen to it.
That's the hope.
Properly.
Yeah.
But it's obvious. That's just what they need to do. And this is it now. So Local Natives then with Someday Now on Exposure Radio X.